Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. As you can see, I have a guest with me, but at the moment, I don't think we can hear her. Talk, Lynn. No, I can't hear you. I can only hear you on my phone, which isn't good. I've tested all of my mic and I've tested everything. So, hi, Kelly. Can you hear Lynn as well as me or just me? It really would be great. Lynn, can you talk? Yeah, but we want people to be able to hear you. Kelly, can you let me know if you can hear Lynn, please? Because I've got a feeling that you're going to have to go back out. It keeps coming up that your mute is in StreamYard where I'm through. No, Kelly can only hear me. So, okay. So, Lynn, I'm going to, it says her mic is off. Okay.
Now.
Now we can hear you. Right. Once we
hung
up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yay. So, hello, everyone, and welcome. So, Lynn is coming all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, which I'm really excited about. Okay, now we've lost your visual, but that's okay. Are you here, Lynn? Lynn, I've lost your visual. I could hear you. Thanks, Kim, for letting me know. Okay, we're back. Okay, so today, hi, Kelly.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes.
Totally
can you hear us?
You can hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh, no. Put your earphones in.
Let's see. Camera mic.
Hi, Marianne from Victoria. Lynn is coming all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. And as you can imagine, it's 10 o'clock on Sunday night for Lynn. Can you hear us?
Works this time. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I cannot hear you.
Oh, no. This isn't going to be any good.
Oh, my gosh.
But we can hear you.
Let me see if it's volume. It's not the volume.
Don't we just love tech issues? You know, like we got on early. Hi, Kim from New Zealand. Great to see you. Okay, Lynn, can you see the comments? She can't see comments. What are we going to do? This is going to be fun. Hi, Georgia from Melbourne. So we're going to just keep talking. We can see Lynn. We can hear Lynn. So, Lynn, you can't hear us? Gotta love the world of technology, don't we all? So what we're going to do then is Lynn.
Okay, let's try it this time.
Can you hear us? I can hear you.
You can hear me? I can't hear you. Oh my word.
No, this is going to be so annoying. We've got all these amazing people on here. We've got people on here from Victoria, from Queensland, from New Zealand, and you from Atlanta, Georgia, and we can't even do this conversation. We tested this. It worked before. How annoying. Okay.
And now, gosh. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
What are we going to do? Because I've got an hour to fill in. So what we're going to do, Lynn, is can you see the comments?
I wish I could read lips.
Okay, wait on. I'm going to text you. Okay, can you see the comments?
I can see the chat, yes, as you're putting it up. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's do it this way. Okay.
Well, this is a very innovative way to conduct an interview, I must say.
Oh,
It's on me.
yes.
What am I doing?
You're sharing your story.
Okay. Oh, I was looking at, okay. When I look at the chat, it takes over the whole screen, so give
Should be
me a
on.
sec. Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am V.Lynn Hawkins, and I am the CEO of the P3 Academy of Business Design and Development. I work with alternative medicine and naturopathic doctors and health and nutrition practitioners who actually want to accelerate the rate that they reach their clients, customers, and patients, especially on the subject of using food as medicine. And I do know too that one of the biggest things around food and using food as medicine is that many people think that if they can no longer eat the things that they grew up eating or that they learned to eat because we've been indoctrinated to eating rich foods all the time, or foods that actually are not sustainable in high micronutrients. And when you're changing your diet, even though it's improving the way that you eat and the way that you think about food, it can be considered a loss. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And Karen, I am just so grateful for this opportunity to be in this conversation with you.
Okay. So, Lynn, I know you can't hear me, which is really, really frustrating because we were going to have this most delicious conversation. Can you start by sharing a bit about your personal life?
So you will have to help me out
Yeah.
with more comments. And I apologize if I'm interrupting you.
No, you go for it.
My personal life story.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my father when I was 7 years old, and it took a big toll on life, how I lived my life, how I imagined life might be with my father still in my life. And one of the things that I noticed as I reached, later adulthood was how much that impacted the rest of my life. And to the extent that I really went in life and through life where I lost a lot. Every job that I lost, whether it was through layoff or just changing, deciding this was not the job for me and that I was ready for the next step, I considered it a loss, and it repeated the pain that I felt from the loss of my father. And, at 7 years old, you're really formulating the mindset and the neural pathways that you live in as you move throughout the rest of your life. You formulate a lot of the patterns of your life in that respect. And I lived that way. There were a lot of things that happened in life where I felt like people took things from me, and I wasn't valuable enough to fight for what I wanted in life. I wasn't worthy enough to stand up for myself. And when I did, it felt like the major beat down and yet another loss. And the compound effect of loss over the years really, I learned to cope, but I didn't learn how to really find myself in all of it. And it wasn't until 2012 and the loss of my son, my youngest, my baby, and the love of my life. He was the light of my life. My daughter is 2.5 years older than he, and we had a great relationship, the three of us. And, not that you have a favorite child. Every child is different in their own rights, and they have their favoriteness about them, each of them. And so he had his favorite space, just like my daughter did. But being the youngest, we both, it was truly it took a toll on both of us. And I think for myself even more, because I also gave up my single thriving life in California, where I'd lived for the previous 10 years, and moved across country so that my daughter and I could become the providers for my oldest grandson. We got him when he was 10. He's 18 now, and just an amazing young man. But I realized over the last 8 years, I have been coming to terms with this concept of loss, and learning from Karen about the number of losses was really probably the biggest eye opener for me to really start um, aligning truly with who I am, understanding the losses that occurred, and knowing that, especially hearing people say, well, did that happen for your benefit, or did that happen for another reason? There's got to be a reason for it. And, loss of life, sometimes there is no reason. And to conceive a reason is to, I think, honestly, steal the gift that life gave you for as long as you had it. I know for a long time I lived by the saying that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And when you find out which it is, you know how to appreciate that time even more. And I didn't relate it to the loss of life aspect, the loss of a lot of other things, maybe. But for me, the loss of life was the hardest to deal with, and took the longest to deal with. I think even for my father, he died when he was 29. So for me, making it to age 29 was huge. Living through my year 29 was huge. And then I had this thing going on in my head about every 9 years, 10 years to that ninth, 39, 49, 59. And as I'm approaching the next 9 in my life, it's really been eye-opening how much I have released, because there was a lot of fear around it. And then, thank you, Karen, I look at the people who have impacted my life. And most recently, I have had to come to terms with the grief that I felt over the last loss of the actor Chadwick Boseman. And I wish I could have said we were friends. This is a person who I would have loved to have known. And I did, to a certain degree, as much as anyone on the outside of a prominent actor's life can know them. Chadwick Boseman allowed you to get that close to him. He made a lot of speeches and presentations, and as a graduate from a historical Black college, Howard University, he brought a sense of personhood to life that even at his young age of 43, dying from cancer, it was such a loss because of how he moved through the world. He played some iconic roles, 42, and of course, the Black Panther. And for him to have shown the world that an African American could be the personhood of the Black Panther. And then, two, it was the realization and recognition of what the nation of Wakanda was all about and what Wakanda gave to the world. And his loss felt so much like the loss of my son, because he's the kind of guy that if you were a mom, you kind of would wish that your child, that would be your child. And so I know that a lot of people felt the blow of his loss and looking to the gift of it, because I now know the real importance of moving beyond loss and finding the gift. And the gift in Chadwick Boseman's life was that he showed the world another side of the abilities of African Americans to portray key roles, key people throughout the decades, throughout history. And he poured into the lives of others so deeply. He told the story about being in acting school. He got an opportunity to go to a summer program in London, but he couldn't afford it. And Felicia Rashad reached out to her friends to sponsor these kids, and Chadwick was one of them, and Denzel Washington sponsored him. And when he wins this award, Academy Award for Black Panther, and he's thanking Denzel Washington because he would not be, Black Panther would not be, had it not been for all of the things that occurred in his life. And I look at my own life, and I would not be who I am without all of the experiences that have occurred in my life to bring me to this point, including overcoming this technology challenge of this evening. But it's that's the beauty of life, is that we have those opportunities to do things and be in the moment, overcoming, persevering, being resilient, and showing others that it can be done. And a lot of what I know I experienced was not seeing others' examples until it was later in my life, and I was able to say, if they did it, maybe I can too. And I also realized that it was a trust issue. Even saying all of that, if I didn't trust myself, if I didn't trust my higher power, then even that would elude me. And in a lot of cases, it did. And today, with a different perspective, and because of knowing that everything that happens in life brings us a gift, and it is how we perceive the gift, how we use the gift, and how we actually show up as an example to others who may be going through, we get a deeper sense of who we are and why we're here. Because one of the things that I also know is we're put here for a reason. And part of that reason is to learn whatever it is that we're supposed to learn as we're moving on this journey. And, the whole piece about using food as medicine. I fell ill. I went through some health challenges, and learning about food, I'll put it this way, unlearning what I learned and learning the truth about food actually was another element of saving my life and bringing me to being able to say, I thought I was going to miss eating steak every so often. I thought I was going to miss, eating all of the rich foods and cooking with a lot of oil and, butter and things that I grew up with, cheese. And you know what? I don't miss them. What I have done is acknowledged the gift in knowing that while decades ago the food was even a little more healthy than now, I'm able to look at food so differently that I'm just grateful for knowing what I know now. And I also know that a lot of the pain and suffering that I had was because of the food that I was eating. You've probably heard the saying, food can either be your um, greatest source of pain or what you need for your journey to health. And it is that side of things that I'm passionate about helping people to understand as well, because the food that the Big 10 companies have indoctrinated us to believe is good for us because they've made it taste good is not. It's what's killing us. It's what's creating cancer and chronic illness and diabetes and obesity. And when we learn that about the food that we're consuming, how can you do anything but want to change, want to find out what the right foods are, what the real foods are, and eat those as opposed to the things that are contributing to ill health? I used to love ice cream, vanilla ice cream with loads and loads of chocolate on top. And when I sat back and thought about, the hours after consuming it, how I felt, the next day, how I felt, and it was like, ice cream did that? I was really able to understand that that was not what I wanted in my life. So what am I doing? Yes, I so agree. Your health is your wealth. Without your health, and the saying about people spend their lives amassing wealth, not taking care of their health, and they get to, they're so wealthy, now they're spending all of their wealth to regain their health. And they're spending it the wrong way, because a lot of us have been, again, indoctrinated to believing that medicine, that the pills, that the surgery, that is the way to go, when in actuality, check the alternative methods first. I remember talking to a doctor once, a surgeon, a heart surgeon, as a matter of fact, and the surgeon said, I really am so passionate about my patients having their heart issues turned around, and I'm the last stop. The surgery that I do is the last stop for this person. And what I try and get them to do is realize that they could potentially bypass having surgery if they would do just one thing, and that is eat differently. Eat the things that your body can utilize so that it actually takes the poison out of you. It actually dissolves the plaque that clogs heart arteries. It actually strengthens the blood flow so that great health comes back to you. And I love that. What you eat today walks and talks tomorrow. That is so, so true, Karen. And we've had that conversation, and that's like the ice cream. I found myself in the hospital one time passing kidney stones the size of a marble. And this beautiful little nurse comes in, and she's, doing her stuff around the room, and nobody else is in the room. I think she made that carefully looked at that before she said anything. And she said, "May I ask you something?" I was like, "Yes, sure." She said, "What did you eat yesterday?" I had 3 bowls of cereal the day before. I had a couple of muffins, and I don't even know what else, but I do remember telling her this. And she said, I would venture to say that a lot of why you're experiencing this is the milk and the dairy. She said, just watch the dairy products. And if I were you, I would stop drinking cow's milk. And I stopped. To this day, I have not passed another kidney stone. My body just does not have to deal with what happens when I consume milk, and I'm over it. So, did I feel a loss because I gave up milk? You know what? I might have, but it was quick to get over when I thought about it. I don't have to go through this pain anymore. I don't have to go through the excruciating pain that landed me in the hospital. And if any of you know what it feels like with kidney stones, you know what I'm talking about. And another one of my doctors said, you know, cow's milk is for cows, not for people. People were not built to process cow's milk. And then the way that cow's milk is being provided to us these days, it is so full of things, hormones, and what they want us to believe is things that are good for us, vitamins and the like. And in actuality, all of that stuff is overriding the natural things that our bodies want. And so what you have now is 12-year-old girls who are showing up at the doctor with breast cancer. What you have now is young boys and grown men walking around with breast buds because of the fact that milk is stored in them. And of course, oh my gosh, the things that I do eat now are the green vegetables, leafy green vegetables, cruciferous vegetables. Those are my favorite, actually. Cauliflower and broccoli and kale and alkaline vegetables, celery, and um, uh, avocados comes to mind. It's not what I was thinking about, but there are so many great vegetables and fruits. Do you know that eating an orange, you know, we grew up hearing an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And that's true too, because there are a lot of great micronutrients in apples, but oranges, the vitamin C and the way what's in the orange that helps you to helps your body to bring in the vitamin D and the vitamin A. Oranges are packed full of what our bodies need. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, all of those vitamins and minerals that come in, and the enzymes. Many of us have gut issues, and that's because we're eating all of the oils and the dairy. And honestly, when you change to eating foods that are high in micronutrients and high in vitamin dense in vitamins, and one of my favorites, I don't do a lot of rice. White rice is just out of the question, but even brown rice. What I eat is quinoa, and it's an ancient grain, and it's said to have more micronutrients than any other grain, fruit, vegetable around. So I eat it with my vegetables. And you talk about a meal that's filling. I eat a lot of salads. And I actually am learning how to make my own salad dressings because I like the variety of salad dressings and the berries, raspberry and raspberry vinegar, raspberry, just even plain raspberry juice over my salads just makes for such great food. A lot of people also think that, you know, you don't get your protein when you're eating a plant-based diet. I was going to say vegan, it's not vegan. I was going to say vegetarian, it's not vegetarian. It actually is a whole food, plant-based diet. and that is more whole foods, apples, oranges, avocados, bananas, and it's more than just fruit. It's your fresh kale and broccoli and cauliflower, and make smoothies. Oh, Karen's big on smoothies. I know that, as am I. And an ideal eating regimen is if you have trained your body to consume 3 meals a day, make those 3 meals rich with green vegetables, all 3, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when you're looking at protein, meat is a secondary source of protein because cows eat grass. They eat the green stuff that gives them the protein, and then they get injected with additional protein. And what you want to do is go straight to the source. Eat the greens. Eggs, oh my gosh. So eggs also a meat byproduct. And a lot of people have been told that eggs are a great source of protein. Eggs have other things that actually break down the body systems, and eggs are also one of the things that cancer research has determined that eggs are a contributor to cancer growth. So I stopped eggs. I don't do cheese. One of my favorite doctors, Dr. Neil Barnard, wrote a book called The Cheese Trap. And he basically says in the book that the way cheese is made today, there are ingredients in cheese that have addictive qualities, and addictive to the point of like heroin addictive. And I know that there are a lot of people that I talk to about cheese that say, oh my God, is that why I love cheese so much? And then it's like, figuring out that it's addictive. And it's like, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do all of these things. And here I am addicted to cheese. Not happening. But that is what we have come to. And part of what it is that I want to do is help people to understand that changing the way that you eat is about losing the opportunity to become sick and gaining the opportunity to live a longer, healthier life. And I call a whole food, plant-based diet and lifestyle the fountain of youth, because it is about doing everything that your body needs and wants, that it was made to consume, and that helps you to live a longer life, a healthier life. And
okay, that's great.
Okay.
I don't know, can you hear me?
No, I'm reading your lips.
Okay, right. Okay. So I just thought I would explain to everyone that Lynn cannot hear me, which is why she has been sharing her amazing information with us. And I have so many questions for her, but it makes it so hard. So we will have her back another time when we sort out these tech issues. It's really quite annoying because we did do a trial run and everything went perfectly. So I'm going to get you to keep talking, Lynn, but I'd love everyone who's on board, if you have any questions for me or for Lynn, can you please type them into the chat? The earlier questions were obviously people just saying where they were from, and I thank you for that. But it is about, my show is always about beyond loss and loving life. And Lynn focuses obviously on our health. And so many times when we change the way we eat, we all do, we can go into feeling deprived. and feeling like we're missing out on something, as opposed to looking at what we've gained in our being able to sleep better, to be able to wake up feeling amazing, having the energy to do everything that we require to do in each and every day. So, Lynn, I will type in again. Hi, ladies. Hi, Kristen from Queensland. Great. Do you have a question? Does anyone have a question they'd like to share? Please ask Lynn as many questions as you like. I'll give it back to Lynn. I'll get her to share what her daily meal plan. Hello, please give me a guidance to heal spiritually. Oh, good.
Okay, Karen, where are we at this point? And
okay, there you are. Can you read them? I'm not sure if here I'll type in. I'm not sure if she can see the actual. So I'll go Kirsten. What is the best food for the pancreas?
okay, so I'll start with my daily meal plan.
Okay.
My daily meal plan is oatmeal for breakfast. I love oatmeal, and trust me, it's not just oatmeal. It's oatmeal with flaxseed. It's oatmeal with blueberries and walnuts. And honestly, I almost eat it every day. It's filling. It tastes good, and the blueberries have so much great vitamins in them, and I mean, it's just a healthy meal. For lunch, and I'm bad about lunch and dinner because I start work sometimes and I look up and it's dinner time and I'm like, what happened to the day? But usually for lunch, I and I kind of cheat too, because I don't have a lot of time sometimes. So I buy the quinoa blends in the frozen section, quinoa and vegetable blends. And it's quinoa and kale, it's quinoa and kale and corn and peas, and there's these packs that actually, and I'm just going to tell on myself because I know that there are a lot of people that are starting this way. That's my go-to because it takes 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes in the microwave, and I've got a really nice meal. I do hummus. In those packs, I even put like fresh chopped onions. I put olives. I even put hummus in there. And then sometimes for dinner, I'll have my salads, and I'll have everything under the sun that I might have to put in there, including fruit. I'll put walnuts in my salad. I'll put almonds in my salad. I will put olives, and 3 types of olives. I'll put green olives, I'll put black olives, and I'll put they're the purple olives. I forget the name of them, but they're really good too. I will put oh my gosh, if it's fresh, if it's in a jar, and sometimes in a can where I can control like the sodium content, even just pouring off the juice. And sometimes I'll pour a little water over, like some of my canned olives have a lot of sodium in them. And I'll pour off the juice, pour some clear water over them, and I'll use them that way because they're great. And so I have a real simple meal plan for myself. And when I go out, I do all kinds of mixing and matching of things, right? So there's a great salad that has all this stuff on it. Can you hold this, and hold this? Can you add this, this, and this? And typically restaurants today are a lot more open to improvising with foods because they know that there are so many people are on dietary restrictions, but there are some people who just don't want meat. They don't want the butter, they don't want the cheese, and they're willing to hold it and substitute it with other things. And that's what I do quite regularly. I used to be apprehensive, but now I do it all the time, and I encourage you to do it as well. What's the best food for the pancreas? That's a great question. And I would say I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm an avid sports enthusiast. I played sports. I actually am a professional fitness instructor. I had a 20-year career in teaching fitness, and since then have continued with my athletics. I was a cyclist. I've ridden, 25, 50, 75, 100-mile bike rides. I rode 100 miles from the Bay Area in California to Monterey Bay. That's 100 miles one way. And then the next day, we actually rode back 100 miles. So I was really, really excited to have completed something like that. But it's hard too when you want to do things like that and you don't know how to fuel your body. As it relates to learning this stuff, I'm a partner in a health advocacy group called Hippocrates Docs. And we have a program called Just One Thing for Health. It's a free email series. There's such great information. And the doctors that I spoke about are many of the doctors that we've had come into the program and really give their expertise. The story about the surgeon who said, I'm the last stop before heart surgery, change your diet and you probably won't have to have surgery, and has had a lot of cases where his patients did not have to have surgery, and in 6 months their arteries were clear. Yes, thank you for asking. If you go to just one, the number one thing for health, the number 4, just one thing for health.com, you'll find all of the information to be able to sign up for the free email series. And it's our Challenge to Better Health email series. And there's such great information about pancreas health, about heart health, about immune health. We're currently creating our series on cancer health and how you can thrive after the cancer diagnosis. And we will put the link in the chat. It is just one thing for health.com. Just one thing for health.com. Like us on Facebook. You can go to Facebook and just do a search for Just One Thing for Health, and you'll find us there as well. And let me see, what else did I get asked here? Guidance to heal spiritually, physically, and emotionally. That is such a good question. I am one who has gone through my journey in life thinking I was pretty balanced in all 3 areas. And what I've come to realize is that I was quite unbalanced. However, knowing those aspects helps you to at least be as balanced as possible. What I would say is the biggest thing is a morning ritual.
Yeah.
And I do this religiously, really. Spiritually getting grounded every morning, being in gratitude that I woke up in the morning, that I slept good every morning. That is what I do. And I just spend time just thinking about the possibilities that life has to offer just because I woke up. And I can move into the next phase of my ritual, which is the physical space. And I have my, set exercises that I do every morning. And one of the biggest joys that I get is my routine of walking the dog. And he and I walk about anywhere from 1 to 2 miles, depending on how much time I do have. And we are just communing with, and he's so funny. He's a little Cairn Terrier, and he has to smell everything and mark every place that he thinks is important for him to stop. And I really have learned how to find joy in even watching him do that. But I look at the trees and the flowers and the sky, and sometimes in broad daylight to see the moon is amazing. And that's really the spiritual, physical, and emotional gathering of me that happens every morning. And then in the evening, I also, just before going to sleep, say a special prayer, which is a prayer of gratitude. I know there are a lot of people that do journaling and all of that, and I do journaling sporadically, honestly. I have done journaling for like the 10-day journaling challenge and things like that. But for me, just before I go to sleep at night, when I close my eyes, I thank God for the day. However the day has been, it's been an awesome day because I made it through. And upon gratitude for the day, I am then grateful for a good night's sleep and the healing that my body will go through during this restful time. I'm grateful for. I know it's going to happen because I'm bringing in gratitude for it. And that too brings in the spiritual, the physical, and emotional into my evening, my nighttime ritual. And, I do other things like aligning my chakras during the day. Every morning when I go through my getting dressed and everything, I have a energetic movement that I do that actually starts from the ground, and it brings my energy center up. And I take it up into the light. And in the light, as the north is to the south and the east is to the west, I am grounded. I am whole. I am happy. And this is where all of my affirmations come in. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am blessed. I am curious. I'm creative. I am everything that comes naturally in that day's gratitude and affirming. I allow it to come into my chakra flow, and when I'm done, I am ready for the day.
Thank
And
you,
let's see
Lynn.
the link to Just One Thing for Health. Thank you. That is it, justonethingforhealth.com. And would love for you to join us on this quest. We are about educating people, and we have opportunities to join us to help others, to be in that conversation. We have a program called My Health, My Priority that is really one that's interactive. And, Karen and I have talked about this too. I've got this whole thing about, people always tell you that you have all of the answers within you. Everything that you need to know, you have within you. And I'm like, well, how do you get it out? You know, we need help in getting those answers out of ourselves. And that's what the My Health, My Priority program actually focuses on, helping you to not only learn about the food and the balance of spirit, physical, and emotional. It also helps you to change habits, tiny habits at a time, just one thing at a time for your health. And so would love for you to be a part of it with us. If you are a health practitioner, reach out to me. I have opportunities for you to bring this conversation of using food as medicine into your practice and helping your clients and patients learn and do better with their forward movement in health.
Thank you,
So, Karen,
Lynn.
what else do we have?
No more.
Because I could go on and on.
I know you can. But I would like to just add to Lynn's comment about how to heal spiritually, physically, and emotionally. Obviously, with my Beyond Loss programs, I help people to do that. But it's in the emotional state that's where we suffer and grieve, because a lot of the times it's painful and we don't want to work through our emotions. But it's in the emotional journey that we receive the gift from loss, the gift from who we are about to become. So it's really important for us to understand that our emotional journey is so connected to our spiritual journey, because when we are spiritual beings not in this realm, we don't have the emotions. And it's the emotions that stop us from living and loving our life. So it's really important for us to do the deep dive into who we are and, of course, to reach out. This has been a little bit technical, challenging, as you can imagine, because we can hear Lynn and we can see her, but unfortunately she cannot hear me. And for some reason, this is what Spirit wanted for us today. Whether, for whatever reason, we will find out, I guess, one day, or one day we may not. But we've shown up, and that's the main thing. So I'd like to say thank you for everyone who has been here today. If we have any more questions, we've still got like about 7.5 minutes left, because this is an hour show. Love you to ask some more questions. I'm going to ask Lynn if she has the last thing to share. Okay, so I've asked that of Lynn, just to see if there's one more that is shared. I'm sure anyone watching.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. I think I'll wrap up by saying everything is about perspective. Everything that we do, that we move forward in, and everything that we take a moment to look in the rearview mirror and see is about perspective and bringing together loss, bringing together food, bringing together the fountain of youth, and living our best lives, our healthiest lives, our wealthiest lives, really is about perspective. And the perspective that I'd like to share with you is that you can be, do, and have everything in life that you would like. It's about seeing the gift in anything that has shown up for you. I've had to see the gift in having 4 falls within 6 months, and one landing me in the hospital. The gift was that I had forgotten my athletic self for a while. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing what really brought joy to my heart. I'm not going to be running anymore, maybe cycling, but I I wasn't doing more than walking. Now I'm weight training again. Now I'm really into being who I really am, aligning with the spirit of who I am. And I would say there is a gift in every loss. It's your perspective that helps you to move beyond it, to be the best that you can be, to get out of it the best that can come from it. And I'll leave you with that tonight, because you deserve the best. You can be and have all that you desire in your life. And I pray that for you. Thank you, Karen. It's been
Thank
such
you.
a joy to be here tonight.
Yeah,
Today.
thank you. And for most of us in Australia, it is lunchtime. And of course, Lynn's in Atlanta, Georgia. And I am so grateful to have Lynn in my life. We meet most weeks for about an hour. We sort of help each other. We brainstorm each other's businesses and life. And we both bring a completely different perspective. Which is fabulous. She has taught me so much. She has helped me to grow, to understand obviously America is different to Australia, even though at times we think we're very similar. So to understand a perspective beyond what we hear in the media, which I am so grateful to Lynn for. But more importantly, I love the fact that she is so passionate about food is medicine. And as I typed in the comments earlier, what you do eat today walks and talks tomorrow. And I saw that on a school excursion when I was like 13. We had to do, as we were on the excursion, we had to fill in a questionnaire, which was great. It was like a treasure hunt as we went around Sydney, because I grew up in Sydney. And I saw it actually on the back of a bakery as we came into Redfern Station. And it really stuck with me, what you eat today walks and talks tomorrow. So start to think of what you are eating and just ask yourself the question, if I eat this now, what will I be like in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 months from now? It's a really great question for you to embrace your life with. So I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to thank Lynn. Hopefully in the replay, she will be able to actually see how amazing she was. And let's face it, she just ran with it. Because there was no point in us trying to ask questions. Obviously, I was typing some in. But that's it for now. So bye, everybody. See you all later. Bye, Lynn. And thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. So grateful for you.
Okay, bye. And now I'm going to end the broadcast. There it is.